Welcome back to Church Production. I'm Marcel Patillo. The more sophisticated the production of your church, the more vital communication is. So, of course, the tech team leader needs to know and understand the service flow as well as what's happening when. Once you have multiple camera operators or start doing iMag or live streaming, communication with the tech team becomes critical. And we're talking intercoms, because if you're a multi-site church that live streams to different locations, the need for rock-solid real-time communication has to be there. Now, Gateway Church, located near Fort Worth, Texas, realized this years ago, and they incorporated an intercom ecosystem from Riedel, incorporating the company's director software that's used for setup and routing. It runs on the Artist card frames, and then there's the Riedel Bolero intercom belt packs. So let's hear more about the system from the broadcast team at Gateway Church.
Gateway Church is a multi-site, non-denominational church. At all of our sites, we have local worship and local pastors that are at that church, but our sermon is streamed into each of the locations. So we're one church with multiple locations.
We started with Riedel back in 2010 when we moved into our current broadcast campus, the South Lake 114 campus.
We currently use Artist 32 for all of our satellite campuses, and the main South Lake campus we use an Artist 128, as well as the main campus carries Bolero.
We utilize the voice over IP cards on the Artist frames so that we can talk to multiple campuses at the same time. So each weekend we do what we call campus checks. All campuses are on headset. We're testing video feeds, we're testing headset mics, we're testing MC mics, and it allows every campus to give real-time feedback on what they're hearing and what they're seeing so that we can maximize our quality across all of the campuses.
So the first thing that really blew my mind about the Riedel system that flows throughout Gateway Church is their ability to communicate campus to campus. But at the heart of the Riedel system that Gateway uses is the Artist 128, an advanced communication platform that allows them to pull this off.
So locally, at the main broadcast campus, we have the Artist 128 that has 16 bays. It's very customizable. You get to have 8 ports per card, and those locally are for, we use those for the Bolero packs, and we use those for each comm panel station. So locally, we're all tied in with different individual. We can talk individually back and forth, one-on-one, and we have dedicated party lines that we can talk back and forth in between locally here.
Not only are we able to really communicate with any team member on our production team, but we can also communicate directly with those who are on the platform. So we can use the same comm interface that I would use to contact anybody else on the production team, but also talk directly to the band, to the music director. If there's any change in service, a service producer would be able to communicate that with the music director, as well as hearing back from the music director anything that we need to know from that end. So whether we're making a huge departure from the agenda and need to communicate that with the worship team, or they're going to go into maybe a different song or a different element of the service, we're able to hear that directly from the music director and have that link to the stage. So the Artist has been a really great way to connect us from production to the platform in a really discreet way.
So of course there's a ton of benefits to being wireless, and that's where the Bolero intercoms belt packs come in. Being truly wireless from your main system to the comm and then from the comm to your headset is actually pretty killer and can be very convenient, because what can get in the way often will get in the way.
Yeah, the Bolero packs really help us when it comes to wireless cameras, so they're not dragging around the cable around the platform, and that is a huge upside for us having Bolero, is that the individuals who need to move around can move around freely, and they're not dedicated to a certain position. They can move about the auditorium freely and still be reachable via the Artist comm.
Regardless of how capable a system is, it's still going to be used by newcomers, and at a church, that means volunteers. So despite being so sophisticated, it still needs to be simple.
On our production teams, we have very young people as well as every age range of our operators, and the Bolero system has been really easy to use with the dials and the buttons, and it makes it really simple for them to be able to talk, again, point to point or on a party line, as well as select the volume that they're wanting for each of those channels. And one of the biggest benefits that the Bolero has provided is that you don't have to use a standard headset. You can use your own Bluetooth device. So it's one great opportunity if someone has Bluetooth earphones or a microphone that they prefer to use, they can always use that in conjunction with Bolero. So it just brings the hands-free nature to comm, which is very unusual and super helpful.
So I consider myself a pretty tech-savvy guy, but when it comes to setting up big systems like this with different units that all talk to each other, especially at different locations, I get pretty confused. So I was anxious to hear what it was like setting up the Riedel system, as well as any issues they may run across over there at Gateway.
Yeah, I know for me, using the Director software, programming has just been incredibly easy, and setting up the antennas to like pairing the actual belt pack with the actual system has been super easy and flawless. Riedel does a incredible job of setting you up to win with their manuals and with their setup. It's super easy. It's not complicated. And I know from the programming side of it, it's very easy. You can click and drag and drop. You can save presets. You can save profiles. And so it's very easy to recall if somebody you have is consistent, because that's a big thing that we have here is that we have different operators and different people moving from weekend to weekend. And so it is very easy to set those profiles up and to recall them.
There's not a single piece of Riedel equipment that I've put my hands on that said this didn't feel robust and professional, especially with the way we operate. Things can very quickly tend to get beat, and we have very few failures on that side. Boleros stand up to just about anything.
Just the ability to have some of the EQ settings and to be able to really specify volume levels. I mean, even little things like how the panel volume will get quieter when you're pushing to talk, things like that to just eliminate the feedback nature of what happens on comm a lot, and just being able to address each microphone differently, whether it's the panel's mic or your headset, and to have different audio settings for that versus the speakers. And I can address exactly how someone sounds coming to my panel, but I can sound differently going there. I mean, that is unmatched in the quality. And whether we're using wirelessly or hardwired into a panel or an analog or a digital signal, it all sounds the same and it sounds great.
So when it comes to what type or size church that Riedel products are really for, they have a vast line of products that is very scalable depending on the size and needs of your church. But lastly, I just wanted some final words from their live production systems director about the benefits of working with Riedel throughout Gateway Church.
From the moment that one of our staff or technicians walk in to work at Gateway, we're communicating all day long, whether that's the service producer at their station with their touch panel, with all their options of people to talk to directly or on a party line, or with the camera operators that are roaming wirelessly with Bolero, to our engineers and other personnel who need to be mobile. They're able to be mobile with the wireless packs, as well as other campuses that we can connect to, again, with just a touch of a button, and have a party line where every campus in the area can hear themselves and each other. It really helps fuel that communication between the campuses and between the people that are working that event at that location.
So of course, a big thank you to Riedel and the team at Gateway Church for taking the time and sharing your insight about the cool things you guys are doing over there at Gateway Church with your Riedel system. And make sure to subscribe to the Church Production YouTube channel. And of course, check out churchproduction.com for new articles and insights about everything church production. As always, I'm Marcel Patillo. I'll see you all in the next one.